Living in the darkness is not a sign of weakness. It's proof you've learned to see without the light. I'm Peter Williams, an ex-senior investigator, and this is my story.
It was my 7th case. I was just getting used to the investigation thing, though not new, but still afresh. I was getting ready for my night shift at 10 p.m. Just a coffee sip before I leave for my office. My phone rang.
Hello, sir? Hello? Am I audible? Sir, there has been a case at the Oxmill Steet near Pepperoni Pizza Palace. A woman named Polly D'Souza has been missing since 3 days. Neighbors have heard noises, but Polly was not seen.
Morris, I am on my way. I'll catch up.
It just took me 15 minutes to reach the crime scene where Morris was waiting for me.
Sir, the missing suspect is Polly D'Souza, and she has been missing for about 3 days. We have checked entire flat, but couldn't find anything suspicious.
What about the CCTV footage?
Sir, the CCTV looks clean, but the footage from the moment Polly disappeared appears to be corrupted.
Send it to Cyber Team.
I took the elevator and pressed number 14. Morris accompanied me to the exact room. The room 1404. I stood against the door and then entered softly. What I could see was an empty hall with a chair at the center. No table, no sofa, just a chair at the center of the room facing towards me. Though it looked normal for others, it was one of my clues.
Sir, the girl lived alone. She has just shifted here a couple of weeks ago. I verified her proofs. She belongs to Moonville, Texas. She used to live with her grandmother earlier, and after her death, she came here searching for a job. It seems like she lived here all alone.
While Morris was introducing me about the case, I sat on the chair that seemed normal to people. On the left, I could see the kitchen, which led to the bedroom. On the right, just the wall. I looked up at the ceiling to find blistering paint.
Morris, who lives above this floor?
Sir, this is the top floor.
I stood on the chair and saw the paint more carefully. As I touched it, some of the paint crumbled. To keep the dust from getting into my eyes, I turned my head against the wall. I looked up at the ceiling again, and this time the rods were clearly visible. Stepping down from the chair, I went to the kitchen. Everything lay exactly in its place. No signs of struggle. The kitchen had a big window that offered a clear and beautiful view of the surrounding. I pressed the foot pedal of the dustbin to toss my chewing gum, but the bin was completely empty. I returned to the hall slowly. As I was thinking about what might happen, Morris came back with the forensic team.
Morris, get the work done and meet me in the office with the file.
While the team was busy finding fingerprints, I stepped out of the house and stood against the door. I checked the lock. It seemed fine. The peephole was clear. I turned away and went off to the elevator. Instead of using the elevator, I took the stairs. It took me 5 minutes to get off the stair and reach the ground. I went to my car, unlocked the door, and sat inside. Before driving off, I looked at the top floor of the building. I held my gaze for a minute or two. Then I continued riding towards my office. It was almost 11 when I reached the police station. After greeting my staff, I went straight into my cabin. I saw many files lying on my table. So, without wasting a single moment, I went straight to check them. Most of the files contained solved cases. I just had to sign them before they were archived. It took me almost an hour to finish with this work. Next, I was going through the executive orders that had been recently passed by the higher authorities. It was almost 6 in the morning when Morris handed me the new file. At 6, my shift got over, so I took the file along with me to my home. At 7 in the morning, I was standing in front of my building. I stared at the top floor of my building for a minute or two before making my way to my room on the 3rd floor. I took the stairs and went straight to my room. I unlocked the door, pushed it back to lock it, and went straight to my bed.
I woke in the afternoon and followed my usual routine. By 4 p.m., I was done with my household stuff. I grabbed the file and started reading it. It took me an hour to analyze the missing parts. Now I had a set of questions to be answered. So, to find them, it was necessary for me to return back to the crime scene. I entered the room once again. I saw the chair facing towards the entrance door.
Sir, did you get any clue from the file?
Yes, Morris, soon.
I walked toward the front, my eyes fixed on the ceiling above. Suddenly, I bumped into a chair. It slid slightly across the floor. I looked down, scanning every detail. Scratches marked the wooden surface. I knelt to inspect them and realized they matched the marks left by human nails.
Sir, it seems this might be a kidnapping case. We've already checked the room and have found nothing except the fingerprints of the girl itself.
Did you find scratches?
Scratches?
Look under the chair.
Sir, the resident below this floor said that they heard strange noises from above, as if someone was shifting the furniture.
Can you find any furniture whose movement could create so much sound?
No, sir.
You said that the CCTV footage was clean, so no one entered or left the room, right?
Yes, sir.
The report that you submitted to me mentions a broken CCTV footage, right?
Yes, sir. The intelligence team have fixed the broken footage and have sent to our station computer.
I stood up on the chair once again and saw the ceiling. Suddenly, some fine powder from the ceiling fell into my eyes. I moved my head towards the wall and started cleaning my eyes. As I opened my eyes, I could see a hole tapped into the wall. The hole wasn't like a regular one. It was clean, perfect hole, almost like it had been made during the construction. Normally, if someone drills a hole, it leaves rough edges on the inside. But this hole didn't have any rough edges. The wall was plain and clean. It was mentioned in the report that this room never had any renovation. That means if someone had drilled the hole, it should leave rough edges on the outside. Further, the hole didn't lead anywhere. It ended just after 3 inches.
The scratches on floor, empty dustbin, and a perfectly tapped hole. These are our clue, Morris. Call the landlord to our office. Let's finish this case.
I don't understand, sir.
We shut the door and headed back to our car. I unlocked my car and asked Morris to have a seat. I looked up at the top floor for a while and sat into the car. Turned my car on, and we headed back to the station.
Sir, I am still confused. Can you explain me the clues?
Sure, Morris. The first clue is the corroded rods on the ceiling. It was mentioned in the report that the building was new, about 6 years old. So how could there be such a problem? Second clue is the scratches. The report also mentioned that after her grandmother's death, she became short-tempered, as she was left all by herself. So, when she couldn't handle the loneliness, she began rubbing her feet against the floor while sitting on the chair. The third clue is the empty dustbin. A person always produces some amount of waste where they live. Empty dustbin meant she hadn't consumed anything. If she was kidnapped, why would the kidnapper clean up her dustbin? We saw in the CCTV footages that she rarely left the house, and when she left, it was just herself and her purse. The fourth clue is the hole in the wall. That hole was made during the construction, and it should connect somewhere. And if it doesn't, then someone sealed its connection deliberately. The fifth clue is the building structure. When I looked at my building structure, its architecture ended smoothly after the top floor, while this building's architecture continues further after the 14th floor. The sixth clue is the elevator buttons. The elevator had a vacant hole next to the 14th floor covered with a sticker. This means there was a 15th floor, and the architecture design of the building ended after the 15th floor.
So, tell me, Mr. Jason Ruth, why did you rent your house to the girl at such low price?
Sir, I was just helping that girl.
Helping the girl or taking advantage of her?
Sir, I am saying the truth. I felt bad for her past, so I wanted to help the girl.
Can you tell me, Mr. Ruth, why was your house vacant for such a long time, and why no one wanted to stay there for more than a week?
Sir, I don't know. Maybe people might not get along with the neighbors.
Mr. Ruth, I want to know the truth. The truth about the 15th floor.
Sir, The building has 14 floors. How can there be a 15th floor?
Morris, I think this man needs a little pancake.
Sir, do I need a stronger stick, or this will do?
This seems perfect weapon of truth for Ruth. He won't be able to withstand the stronger ones.
Wait, officer, wait. I'll tell. Penton is the original name of this building. The construction of the building was finished back in the 1950s. It was a marvel of architecture. All the 15 floors were booked as soon as they were available. The Monarch family were the first one to move into the building. A family of 5 who lived in the flat 1503, just above mine. After some days, there occurred a fire accident in the flat 1503 due to short circuit. The fire engulfed the entire 15th floor and was rising toward the 14th floor. The residents of the 14th floor were fortunate enough to save themselves, but the family on the 15th floor weren't so lucky. They all died. The building was cited for faulty wiring, and the rooms were left empty. The government officers inspected the building for its quality and safety, but it failed to meet the standards. It seemed like the builder had bribed the previous officers to pass the safety check. The builder was booked for poor construction and safety measure. He faced a huge loss, and the tower was shut down. As it is said, people don't remember old news when they have new things to talk about. In the same way, they forgot about the fire accident in this tower. During the 1990s, the builder took down the 15th floor of the old Penton Tower and gave the building a fresh coat of paint, making it appear brand new. By the end of 1990s, all the flats had been sold. I moved into the flat in the year 1991. Strangely, there was just my family on that floor. I heard from the residents on the lower floors that everyone on the 14th floor had moved out after experiencing strange noises in their rooms at night. I didn't believe them until I felt it myself. Just a week after we got into the flat, I still remember at about 12 a.m., I heard a knock. I looked through the peephole and saw a strange man standing in front of my door. He looked creepy, so I didn't open the door. I asked him, who was he? But he stood motionless, standing there. I asked my family to stay inside and do not open the door. At 4 a.m., I went to the door to see if the man was still there. To my horror, he was still standing. I rushed to the bedroom and slept. At 7 in the morning, I went to the door. Gathering my courage, I looked through the peephole once again. This time, there was no one. I let out a long, shaky breath of relief, but a lingering unease remained. The next day, it reappeared again in the midnight and stayed until the 6 a.m. This constant feeling of being watched filled me with anger, and soon I started hearing strange noises through the hole in the wall. That hole in the wall had once connected to the common air duct, which was sealed off during the renovation. But the physical barriers could not keep out the dead from communicating. I became short-tempered, and arguments started rising in my family. Soon I realized that I have to leave this house to make things better. In just a month, we moved out of the flat to a safer place. But the needing money for rent, I decided to lease this flat to others. From that time on, cases like this kept happening. Anyone who dared to open the door disappeared without any trace. The figure standing outside the door forced people to let it in. I didn't open, so I'm here.
Morris, this person really needs a reality check. What are you waiting for? The wooden stick will work.
Sir, this is the complete truth. I swear.
Sir, the intelligence department has provided us with the fixed CCTV footage.
Then let's take a look, Morris.
Sir, please trust me. Just review the latest CCTV footage of the building. I'm sure you'll see the creature.
If we don't get anything, you are going to end up in the jail, Mr. Root. Let's head to the building, Morris.